Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Cece with One Green Pea. The weather's changing and it is time to move your indoor plants that you put outside back inside. Today we're going to talk about my simple steps to a successful transition. Step number one is time it right. It's been getting down to about 40 degrees at night here, and honestly, that's pushing the lower limits of what a tropical indoor plant can tolerate. So I've been procrastinating and just pushing my plants close to the house at night and then moving them back out into the sun when the temperatures rise later in the morning. Ideally, when the temps are about 50 degrees at night, you'll make your plan for moving them in. Any lower than that, and the plants can actually suffer damage, and you really don't want any leaf damage and certainly root damage. So around 50 degrees is probably the best time to move them back inside. Step number two is check it over. You want to give your plant a thorough look over. You are looking for obvious insects. You're looking for damaged leaves or stems, for dead material on the soil. You want to get all of that cleaned up now while the plant is still outside. It's going to be easier and it's going to make the transition in easier as well. So step number two is just give it a good look over. Step number three, give it a shower. Again, outside, it's just so much easier and less messy. So you want to thoroughly use your hose and spray down the leaves underneath as well as on top. You're trying to clean off any dust or dirt or pollen or potential insects or their eggs. Get all of that taken care of while you're outside. Again, less messy, and it's going to be more effective to take care of it before you bring the plant in. So step three, give it a shower. Step number four, check the soil. Do you need to add some soil on top, or perhaps give it a poke and aerate it? Plants outside most likely got watered more often than they do inside, and so therefore the soil probably got more compacted in a short period of time than it would have if it were inside. So it's never a bad idea to go in with a wooden chopstick and poke around in the soil, open up some air holes, and also add some more fresh soil if the soil looks like it's gone fairly low below the lip of the pot. Step number five, give it a spray with neem oil. Neem oil is a great preventative, and it really doesn't hurt the plant. I mean, as long as you don't overdo it. So spray the tops and the bottoms of the leaves thoroughly with your neem oil solution. I'll put my formula down in the notes below. You're just trying it again to kill off any potential insects, any eggs, anything that might be trying to hijack their way into your house and potentially infect the rest of your collection. So neem oil, quick and easy, step number five. Step number six is move it to isolation. Now, this is something I have been guilty of not always doing. But despite all of those steps, all of your best efforts, you may still have brought some bugs or some eggs or something in to the house on your plant that you don't want infecting the rest of your plants. Now, because you've done all those preventative steps, you've looked it over, you've showered it, you've neem oiled it, probably only needs a day or two. And if you do another check after that day or two, then that's all the isolation that it probably needs. Your final step in this steps to a successful transition back indoors is to find a space for your plant. Now, if you're like me, you probably filled the former space that the plant was in with another plant. Or if you didn't do that, the plant may not fit in its former space because it may have grown bigger. Plants tend to get kind of a rush of growth when they are exposed outside to all of that fabulous light and fresh air. So you want to find a place in your home where the plant is going to be happy. Now remember, they're likely used to a lot more light outdoors than they were getting indoors. Even a shaded spot outdoors is probably brighter than your bright indirect light inside. So be sure you are putting the plant in a place of bright light, and if that's not where it's going to be permanently, transition it slowly. So maybe a week in a bright window, and then you move it back a foot or two and back a foot or two, and then transition it into the space where ideally you want that plant to be. Plants are super adaptable. They can handle a lot of our neglect and care mistakes. So don't be worried about it. There's a lot of grace in houseplant care. I hope these steps were helpful, and I hope that you have a successful transition of your indoor plants that were outdoor back indoor. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below. If you've done this successfully and you have a secret tip, leave that in the comments below. I'd love to know what that is. As always, I love when you support this channel by giving the videos likes and subscribing and sharing. Thank you so much for all that you already do to help this community grow. Until next time, my plant friends, let's keep growing together a greener world.